The kids are most definitely not all right with AI at their graduation ceremonies, but they're back. This is one of those stories that I thought at first, this just caught my eye and it kind of, raised a flag with me because I have a daughter of my own graduating this week. I'm getting a raise. But anyway, it actually is a massive story because for some reason, I guess because it's trending, I guess because it affects the kids, I counted 6 that I found. Graduation ceremony speakers at the big university, big name people, and even some just college presidents all made AI and what it means to their students the focus of their graduation speeches, their commencement speeches, right? It's not going well. The kids are booing the graduations, and for good reason in some cases. Now, in some cases, they tried AI to actually read the kids' names. And there's a classic case that's just happened 2 days ago that really malfunctioned badly. Now, the kids should be booing that. But in other cases, how about the kids that are booing this, but they actually used it to graduate? I mean, if you used AI, and I'm sure a lot of them do, artificial intelligence to get you through a final exam or a term paper, should you be booing the thought of AI? I don't know. But it kind of encapsulates the whole issue that's going on now. A lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of fear-based stuff on this that makes no sense at all, but we'll get into it. Thanks for finding me. I appreciate you. Wicked Radio live stream, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m.-ish Eastern Time, Monday through Friday on X and YouTube and Facebook, then the replay and the audio podcast, wherever you like to get those. Now, let's go back a little bit because I actually did talk about this I think it was a year ago this week, where successfully, if you want to call it that, they used AI to read off the kids' names at Pace University. Big controversy at the time. You and I talked about it. But it was like cold machines. Now, the kids walked up to the graduation assistant with their cell phones, which had a barcode, and then they got scanned, and then the AI read the name. They're like cold machines, They're like sardines out of a can. But anyway, if you want to call it successful, this actually did work. This is an AI voice reading off the kids' names after they scanned their barcode.
Kelly Danko. Sophia Cicero.
Pace University at the time got blasted for this, but they defended it and they said, you know what? We've all sat through graduation ceremonies where it takes forever to get through the names. This was more efficient because of the setup with the barcode scans and the AI name. Fine. But that was the first toe in the water. That was the first toe in the water for these artificial intelligence graduation ceremonies, okay? There's a couple of things with this. Reading of the names with AI, controversial already. Not good because of a couple of different things. Average college cost is, depending on loans, grants, what kind of school it is, it could be anywhere from what? $10,000 to $60,000 a year to, let's call it tens of thousands of dollars a year, right? That somebody is paying, either the government or the kid in student loans or the parent. It's expensive, and we all know about the issue where, is it really worth going to college now if you have one of these useless degrees and you're not going to be able to pay off your loans? We all know that. Regardless, the cost of college these days, they can't have one of their academic staff actually read names. They're that lazy. That's the first issue. So I got quite a chuckle when this thing didn't go well at all. Let's go just last night to Glendale Community College in Arizona. What happens when the names don't get read properly and there's a big delay and then they skip names and it's mass hysteria and you have a whole graduating class standing up confused and you don't know what to do? Well, that's when the university president has to get out there and make an apology. Listen to the crowd and see how this went.
Graduates, everyone who is standing, here's what's happening. We're using a new AI system as our reader. So that is a lesson learned for us.
Yeah. And she goes on to say, we're going to use some critical thinking skills here. Oh, okay, right. Couldn't you, for you visual, it doesn't do any good if you're an audio listener, but for your visuals, can't you just imagine this university president who's been in academia her whole life telling you, oh, I'm sorry, AI wiped out your whole bank account. That's what's happening. I'm so sorry. All right, that didn't really happen. But anyway, that's a little clue on what the kids feel about AI, whether or not they used it. Let's go to another one earlier in the week. This is the University of Central Florida, UCF. That's another place I've given a lot of money to. One of the graduation speeches, of which there are many now, talking about AI, and almost every single one of them are getting booed, like this lady.
Now, that said, we are living in a time of profound change. That's an understatement, right? Profound change. Change is exciting, very exciting, and let's face it, change can be daunting. The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. Whoa. What happened? Okay, I struck a chord.
Like she didn't think that was going to happen. I get what she was trying to do, but here's a classic case of a lady that's been in academia her whole life. Now, this wasn't one of the famous speakers. This was from the school. I don't know, one of the college presidents at UCF. And she turns around to the other staff and goes, when the kids boo loudly, as you heard there, "What happened? I struck a chord." Classic example of someone who's in the university system completely clueless about what's happening in the real world. The kids know. Now, what she tried to do was say, adjust to AI. Yes, these are scary times, but AI is the new industrial revolution. These are kids sending out resumes right now trying to get jobs, and you just told them that most of their jobs that they're applying for are about to be replaced. And she didn't understand why kids are booing. Gee, you think there's something wrong there? I don't think there's something wrong with AI. There's something wrong with the university staff being absolutely clueless in how it works in the real world. The kids boo her about AI, and she turns around and she has no clue why. That's a problem, I would say, right? But again, I'm going to go back to my main theme and my main question. How many of these kids booing these AI graduation ceremony topics, not the reading of the names, how many of them actually used AI to graduate and to get out of there? Just keep that in mind. But now, here's another university president from this week. This one is Middle Tennessee State. Now, this guy I would boo just because he's obnoxious in his voice and I can't stand him. But this guy, how about the way he uses AI? His basic message to these kids who aren't happy with it is deal with it. Here he is.
Streaming rewrote the economics. Social media rewrote the discovery model. AI is rewriting production as we sit here. I know it. Deal with it. Like I said, it's a tool.
Can you imagine you're a kid, you just got a business degree or a marketing degree out of Middle Tennessee State, and this guy brings up AI and people start booing because they're afraid of it. His response is, I know, deal with it. I demand my money back, I think. That's another reason why these kids are booing the thought of artificial intelligence at these graduation ceremonies or actually using them in the ceremony. The people telling them about AI who are from the university have absolutely no clue how this is going to affect them in the real world. Absolutely none. That's why they're shocked and they can't understand why the kids are booing. But then you got this one. So it's not all university presidents. Sometimes they bring in some heavy hitters. So this one is at the University of Arizona, and they brought in Eric Schmidt. Now, he is a former Google CEO. You think he knows something about the emergence of AI and what it means to the world and probably what it means to these kids? Here's a classic example of this guy trying to tell these kids how to prepare for AI in this world and what it means. Well, they booed him too. Interesting.
Last December, Time magazine selected its Person of the Year for 2025. And this time, it was the architects of artificial intelligence. Interesting. It will touch every profession, every classroom, every hospital, every laboratory, every person, and every relationship you have. I know.
He finished his speech was, I guess, just under a half hour. I looked it up. It was like 25 minutes. He was booed the entire time. Now, there's a case of a guy who's not a clueless professor. He hasn't been hiding his away in academia for a world. He is a tech guy. Whether or not you like Google, I know it's controversial as well, and I know the censorship issue, but that guy knows full well, because of his experience, what AI brings to the world, and he tried to tell the kids. He understood he was going to get booed. He understands it because he knows what's out there in the real world. Now he tried. Now, again, there's a case of some pretty good information that guy had, but the kids didn't want to hear it anyway. And I understand that. Part of this is they just worked for 4, maybe plus years to get their degrees. They've worked hard. They want to be inspired. And they were just told that it's going to replace every aspect of their lives. Understandable. Maybe in a graduation speech, that's not what you want to hear about. I think it's interesting that there are just under a dozen graduation commencement speeches from university people and sometimes tech people like Eric Schmidt right there, all talking about AI. This is the telltale sign for all of us that this truly is, they're right about this, an emerging factor on everything. There's a lot of misinformation. A lot of information about tech, technology, the rapid pace at which all of this stuff is coming at our lives. Again, I'll go back to the theme. How many of these kids used artificial intelligence to actually graduate and then are still booing the thought of it? Now, it's a little bit different from actually having AI read the names of their graduates. That's ridiculous. But still, booing the thought of the thing, but they've used it themselves. But it's like anything. It's like any new emerging technology. You're going to use it, grab hold of it, at least understand what it is. Are you going to be food for somebody who is? You know who said that? This guy. And this was the best common sense answer and discussion of this that I heard throughout the entire thing. This was a speech, and I don't know what the school was. I couldn't find out what it was. But again, from this week, Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA guy, big Elon Musk guy, Jensen had the best common sense approach for AI that I have heard yet in these commencement speeches.
AI is not likely to replace you, but someone using AI better than you might.
Doesn't that say it all? That's exactly what it is. It's the exact same way as it's been throughout every technological advance going back centuries, right? The printing press, well, that kind of replaced people who were like yard barkers telling you about the news, right? Anything. The automobile. You know what Henry Ford said? Did you ever hear this quote when they asked him about the automobile and what people thought of it? They were afraid of it. There was actually, if you look back in business history, people were trying to stop Henry Ford from building the Model T and other car manufacturers because they thought if you went over 30 miles an hour in a car, your head would explode. Honest to God, swear to God, that was actually a thing. They actually said that. Later on, they asked Henry Ford when he was older, what did you think about the public response to this? You know what he said? He goes, if I had asked people what they wanted and just went based on that, they would have told me they want a faster horse. That's part of it too. Hard, cold reality is technology comes whether we want it or not. It's a matter of who's going to grab hold of it and make use of it. It's a change, absolutely. But I would tell you this, and it's the same thing I'm doing. If you got kids who are entering the workforce now, or you are, or you're older, or you're Gen X like I am, you're afraid of being replaced. You don't have to be. What Jensen Huang said right there was exactly right. It's not the technology that's going to replace you. Most likely, it's somebody that knows how to grab hold of it. And here's the great news to take out of all of this. And all these kids understand that, even the ones that were booing. There's all kinds of ways to learn it without having to go back to college, to grab hold of AI or certifications or anything else or get experience with it. The great thing about this technology is, back in the 20s, not everybody could afford a Model T car. Now, everybody can afford to learn AI and learn what it does. It's right in front of you. It's even in your phone, which you're probably holding right now. So we can do it. So the kids are not happy with AI, at least at their graduation ceremonies. Now, one thing, having AI read the names, that's the laziest thing ever. I would boo that too. That's ridiculous. But these graduation tech guys that are trying to tell these kids about AI, those are the ones to listen to, not the university professors. But it's all right there. There's a lot of misinformation about it, like the misinformation with these AI data centers, right? Have you heard some of that stuff? They're taking over. They're taking all the land. No, they're not. No. Never heard a piece of technology get aligned so quickly in mainstream media. It's ridiculous. It's like any technology that's out there. You don't have to be afraid of it. You just have to be aware of it and learn it. It's evolution. Anyway, thanks for finding me. I appreciate you, as always. There's going to be more of these guys. I can't wait for these. I'm interested to see at my daughter's college graduation ceremony. I've told you this before, it's an artsy-fartsy school. I know, I get you. Bad investment, maybe, maybe not. I'm interested to see if they bring this up with AI. I tend to think not. We'll see. Anyway, more of these speeches are coming anyway, but be aware of it. Thanks for finding me. I appreciate you. Audio podcast listeners, appreciate you as always for sharing it along wherever you like to get your podcasts. Right there, every platform, download, subscribe, like, share, whatever that is. Also, replay X, YouTube, and Facebook, and we're live for the live stream every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Make it a wicked awesome Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow.